Welcome, everyone. You're listening to the ImPerfect Podcast. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Kennedy. Join us on this week's episode as we discuss intriguing topics and people of interest that will inspire us to explore all of the unique pieces of ourselves.
We are all imperfectly perfect.
We're glad you're here. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the ImPerfect Podcast. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing and reconnecting with someone that we've known for several years, Will Campbell. We both first met Will when he and his two sisters, Katie and Clara, joined our owned and operated local summer theater day camp.
Will is someone who has had a lot of tenacity and surprising fire within him that most may not see upon first glance. We witnessed some of this during our improv exercises in theater. We asked Will to take part in our podcast today as we've been watching in the shadows his many ventures through the years and watching him get a bit older, and now he's found a little bit of success. So that's pretty cool.
So many may know him as the ice cream barn guy, or depending on the season, even the Christmas barn guy. So I'm sure he has been up to so much more since theater day camp days, and we're really looking forward to catching up with him today. So here's Will.
Hey, Will, how you doing?
I'm great, Kathy. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah. So
it's been several years since we've even talked, but it's strange now to even talk to you as an adult. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, a lot has changed in since those days, but yeah.
Yeah.
You've been on our list for a little while now, and I think we reached out a while back and you had some stuff going on, and that's cool. And so here we are today.
And the
Yeah.
holiday is busy.
Right.
Yeah, just finishing up the season right now. So it's perfect timing to get to be able to talk today.
Right. So let's dive in with start right off the bat. What's your story? Because nobody knows you like we sort of know you from years back. Like, tell us who is Will and what are your interests?
So, well, my name's Will Campbell. My story kind of starts after those days a little bit because I wasn't doing too much interesting other than theater camp and things like that. But it started off with wanting to have a project over the summer. And I really didn't think it was going to go much farther than that. But just trying to think of what something I could do to keep me busy over the summer. And after a bit of thinking, it ended up, I thought, trying to start a business and learn a bit about that and how the whole process worked. And then the ice cream part of it kind of came in because I wanted to do something that other people could enjoy, and it would actually, be fun for people, and hopefully myself have a bit of fun doing it as well. So that's kind of how I came up with ice cream, because it seemed like it was a bit of a need in the area. We didn't actually have any in the Riverview area at the time.
Right.
So that's kind of how that all started. And then after slowly figuring things out as we went along, it became something a lot bigger than I was expecting. And so I just kept going with it. And now we've got, we started with just one location our first year. And then in that following winter, I was trying to come up with something to keep things going. I didn't really want to just stop work altogether.
Right.
So then I came up with hot chocolate and just a lot of more planning. And that was a lot different than the ice cream because it wasn't really something I could just Google and see what other people were doing. Nobody else seemed to be doing it.
Right.
So it seemed to be like a little bit of a more original idea. So there was a lot more trial and error trying to figure that out, but it ended up also being going off really well. And so as soon as that finished up, I ended up expanding to more locations, uh, uh, and the ice cream trailer, our mobile location.
Mm,
And I say we a lot because I always think of me and the team, and everybody, because we've got some great people who this definitely wouldn't be possible
right.
without a lot of those guys helping and making it possible.
Hmm.
That's
So
awesome. I
I
didn't know you had an ice cream trailer.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great because we get to do a few different menu items like slushies and other things, and we can take it to daycares just for like an hour, or go to like
smart,
YQM Country Festival,
Right.
or different.
smart.
Good
So
idea.
so yeah, it was actually that was very unexpected how that came about, because I had I had just opened the second location and trying to manage all that, and it just happened to be that a deal came up for an ice cream trailer like a month later, and
Funny.
I had no intention of getting into that area of it, but it was kind of just too good not to pass up. So before I talked myself out of it, I had jumped on that opportunity, and it actually was like one of the best, better things I did
A
for
really good
sure.
a really good investment for your business. So the ice cream barn, so you started in Riverview, which that surprises me because I guess the first location I was aware of was the one on Salisbury Road.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because that location is like the building itself used to be an ice cream stand.
Right, in
Not
Salisbury, actually.
Thought I might
Yeah,
have recognized
Right.
that
in
place.
Salisbury, and uh, it's a very old building, as I
Right.
was learned, like
Right.
over 100 years old or something. Um, and but I wanted to keep it there in Salisbury, but there was some issues with not it needing to be moved. The people didn't want to keep it there. They thought with the busy road it might be a little too dangerous.
Right.
So, and with kids crossing and everything.
Right.
Mhm.
So I found basically the next closest spot I could put it, which is quite a bit down Salisbury Road, in kind of more in the Moncton area,
Yeah.
but on that same Salisbury Road, at the Toys for Big Boys location, and
Right.
Right.
we opened it there. But that was actually our second location. We opened a year
So
after the
interesting.
first one, which was in Riverview.
Very cool. So it sparked because you had seen a need in the Riverview area, and then it just kind of grew from there. But I think it's cool how that mobile option just kind of landed in your lap, and
It
kudos
did,
to
yeah.
you for just jumping on it because some people miss opportunities like that, and suddenly it's become a big thing for you and being able to take it. Like you said, you can go to YQM Fest and things like that. So you said that specifically. Did you end up going there?
We did. Our first time doing that was actually this last summer,
Wow.
which was a pretty big event. And it's a very notable one. It seems like one that everybody would know if
Yeah.
I mentioned YQM Country Fest. So that was one that came to mind.
I
And
used to work on the hot dog stands. I don't know if you're familiar. And so used to travel as well with my boss to some of the local concerts. And like they used to have an event in Moncton called 24 Hours in June, which was a 24-hour race. And I know what it's like to have all your supplies and just be waiting to be pummeled by all the customers coming, and like you think, will this ever end? I'm scooping so much ice cream. And for me it was like making cotton candy. I can remember one year we made like 2,000 bags ahead, and we sold them all like in the first day, not the first of 3 days. But it's crazy, eh?
Yeah, events are pretty crazy. How it's just a lot in a very short time, over like 2 days, and then it's pretty crazy. And everybody loves working at an event, because it's hard because you've got to work pretty quick and have a lot of hustle,
mm,
because of the crowds. But the bonus is you get to go to the event, and
Right.
also on your break you get to check out the event.
Right.
You get to listen to the concert and do all that other stuff like on a break or on the other day if you're not working that both days. So
Right.
it's a pretty nifty perk, I would say.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it would be.
It's a
And
whole different energy too, right? Like you're
Yeah,
just so amped up and yeah, go, 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 go. And then everybody collapses, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
very cool. And yeah, the Christmas barn with the hot chocolate, that's very cool. So I don't know if you do multiple locations with that, but I went actually with a friend for the first time this winter, down at the riverfront there. So that must be your mobile one, right?
That was the mobile one, yeah.
Okay.
And we started off with one location at the original barn, because we didn't have any other locations at that time.
Right.
And then we switched it to two locations, the one at the riverfront and still at the other location. And then our main location actually ended up getting broken into
Oh,
during the winter, in between one of the nights. And we had to close for some repairs. And
mm,
then this year we just had it over by the riverfront. It seemed just to work a little better with more people in and around checking out the lights.
right. I was
And
gonna say.
it fits very well with the Christmas river Light Up Riverview.
Yeah.
So we kind of found sticking to that was a little bit of a better way to go.
Yeah, and it's genius, and I think you do it really well. I don't know if you've gone yet, Mom, but they're closed for the season now. But it was kind of cool to walk up. You pick the flavor of hot chocolate, you pick your topping, you can do a candy cane or a wafer in it. Super good idea. Very, very cool.
Yeah, the flavors are a really fun thing. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't have even known that you could do different flavors of hot chocolate,
Right.
but it ended up being that you can, and it's really cool to get to try anything from maple bacon to like a salted caramel.
Yeah, very cool.
Salted fish.
Right. So why don't you tell us a bit about you personally? What do you do on your off time if you have any of that? You seem very busy. What are your interests? What do you like to do?
I definitely like to keep busy, which is a great thing for my work. Is there's a never-ending pile of things to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But in the off time, I definitely love pretty much anything with an engine, from taking a car out for a drive or going to motocross races in the area with the dirt bike and going racing at some of those. Um, right now, I'm working just on getting a pilot's license. So
Very
for
cool.
those are some of the things I'm up to these days. Um,
That's
but
no
yeah,
small feat. That's a very cool thing. Not many people can say that.
yeah, no, it's an interesting process. So it's but I'm really enjoying it,
Yeah.
and yeah. So that's kind of what I like to do, and just I don't have tend to have a ton of free time, but when I do, but I love doing what I do for work, so it doesn't always feel like work for me.
That's cool. Not a lot of people can say that. I was gonna ask you what you want to be when you grow up, because I know this, like you said, it kind of landed in your lap a little bit. Is this what you want to be when you grow up, so to speak? Do you have big plans or hopes or dreams for the business you're currently in or anything like that?
I definitely have hopes and dreams, and this definitely was not uh, ever what I originally had thought would be
Right.
what I wanted to do. And I still don't think I would say it's the only thing I want to do.
Hmm.
I'm definitely enjoying it and trying to keep it going and taking it as far as I can, just to see how far it can go. But definitely, I think getting into more business things of maybe starting other companies and stuff would be definitely what I would say I would be working towards right now.
I can
Very.
totally see that.
Yeah, so I quite enjoy a lot of that. At least most of the time. Everything has its ups and downs,
Right.
Right.
but for the most part, I think that's what I wanted to do. School was never exactly uh my strong suit, so going to university was not exactly the most appealing thing at the time.
Hmm.
So, but I definitely enjoyed doing this, and so I hope to branch off, maybe still in the business and entrepreneur category, but maybe one day something a little different than ice cream as well.
Right.
That's fair.
So why don't you tell us what you love more than anything, more than ice cream? What
Oh,
makes you feel most inspired or like your best self?
uh, I love when I'm if I'm working like at an event or anything, and a kid or family is like really excited, and it's like one of those things that makes their day. That's a pretty great feeling to have, or somebody leaving a positive review online, anything like that definitely uh, motivates me to keep doing what I do, or keep working towards things. um,
Right.
Yeah, and I find being like all in the general same area, I find that being in a smaller community, being in a smaller village, town, whatever, all within this area, I find that people tend to be extra supportive of local businesses, which is super beneficial. And it's nice to get those reviews and to know, like, to even recognize a face on a review on like Facebook or whatever it may be and be like, oh, yeah, they came there the other day, 2 days ago with their kid. And it's good to see that they had a good time for their first visit or whatever. I find that's really common with small businesses, which is great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I pretty much every post I see that we get tagged in or something, I'll recognize that and remember doing up that hot chocolate or serving their ice cream flavors to them, or being there. And so it's always a great feeling when you see that somebody actually like really enjoyed uh, something like that. Or sometimes we like to put on events like bringing a bit of a petting zoo to one of our locations.
Cool.
And like because I live on a farm, we have lots of uh, small goats and ponies and a pig and everything. So sometimes bringing them, and then kids come and they've never even seen one of these animals before, and they get to see and play and pet them and just hang out. It's always a great thing to get to watch and be around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Talk about using your resources wisely, eh? Because no commitment here. Some goats have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Very
think
cool.
you hit the nail on the head, Will. Like, I mean, what Kennedy said, yes, but the fact that you haven't like checked out of your business because now you're doing fun and you can pay somebody else to do the work. There's a lot to be said for the face of the business being around, and people want to support that more than, not more than, but I think they feel better about their choice to support when the owner is actually there, would you say?
Yeah, I would think so as well. And it's not just always supporting me. We have in the summertime we can have up to like 15 other students
Right.
who are working and for their
Right.
summer job. This year I know quite a few of them are saying it's all the work they do is going directly to their college fund, to be ready for university and college. So it's not even just supporting me, it's supporting them, and that's a
Right.
really big thing as well, which is great. It's great to be able to help the rest of the team, and for them to be able to get towards their goals and help them as well.
That must be a surreal feeling to think that you're able to support employees in that sense.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty great, and we do a lot, get to do a lot of fun stuff together too. So it's awesome.
Cool. And at such a young age, do you mind me asking, well, how old you are now?
I'm 20 right now.
That's
Wow.
So yeah,
crazy.
Wow.
the idea and getting started with everything started when I was 16. I was like 16 and a half, just about to turn 17. And so that's kind of when it started, but I'm 20 right now.
Unreal. So 4 years then.
Yeah, about that. We started in 2020.
And
Unreal.
I mean, how many other 20-year-olds that perhaps you graduated with are employing a staff of 15 students to go to university? Like,
Uh, well, I'm a bit of an antisocial guy, so I can't exactly name too many.
I think you
But
know my point here.
yeah, no,
I was giving you a break on I wasn't into the university thing. Like, I see what you're doing. That's hugely successful. Congratulations.
oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Not many people can say that into their older years, let alone at 20 years old, that they've been running a successful business for 4 years already.
Mm.
That's huge. Well, do you have any regrets or failures? This can be business or it can be even in your personal life, anything, even that you feel comfortable sharing.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like focus too much on regrets or failures too much because there's not too much you can do about it, and you just
Right.
got to learn from them and move forward. So even though I regret it, I wouldn't say I fully regret it because it taught me a lot. But I would say probably one of my biggest regrets would have been going not going into business, but working with another company. I was approached by a bigger company and business, and I had thought it was going to be a great supplier for me, and it
Mm,
ended up I overshared a little bit of the performance and the how the company worked and things like that, and it ended up that they were taking that information to open up another one of their
Oh,
stores just in the same area.
oh,
So yeah, but
jerks.
I would say probably that would be my biggest regret, and
yeah.
but it was definitely something I've learned from. To sometimes it's not a bad thing to keep your cards close to your chest, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
always a learning experience. And that's the thing too for people like you who are just want to assume the best in people. You want to just share and be, a good community and whatnot, but you can never guess that the worst could come of that. But it's good that you see it as a learning experience because that's exactly what it is. Now you know that you have to be, as a business owner, a little more guarded with your information. And it's a shame that we have to be that way sometimes, but it's all just a learning curve and I guess another stepping stone. So I'm glad your business has still worked out perfectly fine, like very successful, and it appears to be growing every year, and you're acquiring new things, which is even cooler. It's just kind of interesting that you think of ice cream on a certain level and then you get a mobile unit and then you turn it into hot chocolate in the off season and then all of these other things.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, and there's definitely a lot you can do and build off of for just what would you might think be just a simple cone and scoop of ice cream. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Definitely. So we already talked about that last experience with the um, people that took your ideas and ran with them. Would you say that that was the most important thing that you've learned in life, or is there something else?
um, that would definitely be one of I've definitely learned a lot since just starting this when I was 16. Um, but I would also say maybe uh, things you earn what's the word for it? Sorry.
That's
Uh,
okay.
It's the Imperfect Podcast.
yeah, exactly. I have, but I would say the most important thing I've learned would have been most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before, but that makes total
It's
sense.
a good way to word it. And there's different quotes and sayings and ways of presenting that, but I've not heard it presented in that way. It's just basically that you're rewarded for your efforts and right in life, or
Yeah,
pick another one, right? Like there's all these different ways of saying it.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, but I would say that would have been one of the big things. It makes things more rewarding when you have to work for stuff a lot.
As
Like,
opposed to it just being given to you mean?
mhm.
Just given to you, or maybe some things just come easy, and uh, that's great too. But when you've got to really put effort into it, it feels a lot greater once you get to that level.
The value of something goes up when there's time and effort and love put into something, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as a last question, we want to ask what makes you imperfect.
Imperfect. Well, I there's probably quite a few things, but I
Right?
would,
I feel the same way.
but I'll just share one for right now. I would say, uh, I get very oh over over interested and very excited and passionate about new projects that I can think up of, or the next big thing. And sometimes when I do that, I start to forget about the current things that I need to be taking care of.
Totally
Um,
gotcha.
No, I was gonna
and
say me.
and so and then I'm just like super in and wanting to deal with that, and it's like all I can think about. And then after like maybe a few weeks, then I start to even get burnt out with that. So trying to pace myself a little bit, and keep myself in check would be a big thing.
That's totally fair and a great answer and totally relatable.
Right, for sure. So, well, why don't you tell people where they can find you if they're interested in connecting with you online or otherwise?
Well, I've got personal social media with basically just my name, the real Will Campbell, or Will Campbell.
Okay.
And then the Ice Cream Barn is on Instagram, Facebook. Those are kind of our main spots, but we also have a website, theicecreambarn.ca. So
Cool.
you can check us out, or anybody can find us on any of those, and just send us a message, and I'm pretty quick to respond with that, or I tend to be, unless an email gets buried, like what might have happened with you contacting you guys earlier this summer.
It was the holidays and you were busy, so totally fine. Why don't you share too the physical locations? So I know the Christmas barn, you just finished your season, but maybe if you could give a generic time frame of when your season tends to be and the location, and same with your ice cream stands.
For sure, yeah. So our ice cream stands are located at 633 Salisbury Road in Moncton, and then also 600 Pinewood Road in Riverview. Um, those would be our two permanent ice cream stands. And then we also have our mobile trailer, which can be seen at a lot of local events, car shows, YQM Country Fest, and private events too, like going to daycares and certain things like that. Um,
Right.
our season tends to run for ice cream sometime late April, early May, depending on the weather,
Mhm.
and going till about the first week or second week of September.
Okay.
And then hot chocolate usually starts late November to the first week of January.
Right. And so you are doing the hot chocolate out of your ice cream stands too, and the riverfront near the Light Up Riverview, or just Light Up Riverview now?
Just Light Up Riverview was this winter, and we just finished that up yesterday, last night.
Mhm.
So that seems to be the way we've been going. But you never know, we might do our at the other locations again next year.
Cool. So just as a closing remark, you might kill me here, but
I have a question
sure. Okay, go
before
ahead.
you embarrass poor Will.
We'll save him the embarrassment for a few more
It's
seconds.
like, oh no,
Uh-oh.
what's going to happen? My question, Will, is let's say I got something going on at my house in the summertime, got a bunch of people coming over for a grad party or whatever. can I get a hold of you and get you to come on over with your slipperies and ice cream trailer, or are you up for rent?
Yeah, we're definitely up for things like that. That's a super fun thing to do. And we, as long as we're not booked at another event, we're usually pretty keen to go and do something like that.
Awesome.
Great. Good to know. All right. The big reveal. I just want to show. I had to
Poor Will.
I had to
Did you tell
dig deep
him?
in. What?
Did you tell him?
No, I didn't. I had to dig deep today. Can you see it?
I cannot
That is a
see.
very old photo.
It is an old one.
Wait,
I love how
can't
you and I are on the far left together as well.
That is
see.
crazy.
Goodness.
Yeah, I don't
I had no
know.
idea that photo even existed. I don't think
I
I've ever seen it before.
Right. I had to dig deep for it on the old Facebook page for the theater camp, but yeah, because I was going through my photos and I'm like, holy geez, how long ago was that? But anyway, thought it was pretty cute. I had to find it. It took me a while though.
Yeah.
Humble beginnings, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, my theater days from back then definitely paid off because I actually airing tonight is an episode of Murdoch Mysteries. I'm actually on that episode.
No way.
Where I did a stunt double thing and a bit of a couple other scenes for this
Just
episode coming on
pulls
tonight.
it out
So
of his back pocket like it's just
cool.
nothing. Where did that
well, it just it kind of seemed to fit in because of the theater camp. So.
Yeah, but that's
Awesome.
crazy. Cool. Good to
So
know.
you said 4 tonight. So for those people who want to check it out, we are January 8th. So
Yeah.
whatever Murdoch Mysteries is released on January 8th. This one Will is in. Yay.
Yeah.
Super cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Will, for your time and through your very busy schedule in the holidays and closing up for your holiday season with your business and things like that. We appreciate you taking the time, and it was fun to reconnect too.
It was
Very
awesome talking
Yeah.
to you guys again, and it was actually really fun being on here, even though I was kind of freaking out about it a half hour before we started.
Yeah.
But no, this was great.
No, we're pretty relaxed. We're really glad that you took the time and had a good time with us. It was fun.
Good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So we'll be talking to you soon, Will.
Awesome. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
If you or someone you know has a unique story to tell, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at theimperfectpodcast@outlook.com.
For more information and how to connect with us on social media, you can visit us at our website, theimperfectpodcast.ca.
And from whichever platform you are listening to this episode, be sure to like, share, and leave us a review. We would really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode.
We look forward to hearing your feedback and seeing you all find that extra joy and embrace your own imperfect.
See you next week.